This month, we're talking about all different types of stress. We covered job stress and burnout. We talked about marital and relational stress. And in this week's video, we're highlighting family stress. Next week, I'm going to provide you with some examples of items that you can purchase that can reduce tension and stress within my relaxation toolbox. In today's video, I'm showcasing first maladaptive behaviors that a family member might be exhibiting in which to consider professional intervention. Secondly, the do's and don'ts when dealing with family stress. And thirdly, I will be highlighting how to adequately reduce family stress. Lastly, I will share some ideas and recommendations on how to enhance relationships in your family systems. Here are some examples of maladaptive behaviors that include the certain family members who might be exhibiting unhealthy behaviors that might need professional intervention. So here's what to look for. A family member denying a problem existing when avoiding discussion of the conflict or crisis, the use of drugs or alcohol or other addictive substances to numb the pain of stressful feelings, isolating from family and friends. This may happen out of shamefulness or embarrassment or even mental exhaustion at coping with issues at hand. Covertly lying about the problem, for example, hiding or masking the problem, in other words, omitting significant details that are important and necessary to know. Escapism through television, movies, videos, and much wasted time on too much screen time in general. Misdirecting or inappropriately projecting feelings of anger or frustrations onto other family members. An example of this is in the case of a parent yelling at their children when in fact the parent is angry at a situation beyond their control, such as problems at the job. So here's what to do. Don't avoid uncomfortable discussions. Don't monopolize the discussion and don't trivialize the dialogue. Talk it out and with brainstorming towards solutions. Show them that solving the problem is important to you as the greater part of good of the family. The do's and don'ts when dealing with family stress. Respect privacy. If a family member brings a problem to you in confidence, respect it and keep it to yourself. Don't air it out for discussion without their agreement or consent to other family members. If you're unable to agree to keep the confidence, be honest in your refusal. Avoid getting into conflict with substance abuse involved. This will only escalate and exacerbate the presenting issue and family issues at hand. How to reduce family stress. Many people think that conflict is a problem. Conflict doesn't have to be mass destruction or bloodshed. It actually is an agent for change. So here are some strategies that we can utilize to reduce family stress. When engaged in a family dispute, the goal is to stay focused on that one conflict at a time versus bringing past additional conflicts that are not applicable to the here and now conflict. Listen carefully. If you're interrupting or talking over your family members, then active listening is not taking place. Instead of interrupting or even responding impulsively, take some time to listen carefully as to what is being said to you. Try to see their point of view. This may be challenging to do this because it means taking yourself out of where you're at and attempt to put yourself in your family member's shoes and looking at it from their perspective versus your own. The next one may also be challenging is to respond to constructive criticism with empathy and listen to understand versus listening to defend. Learn to take accountability and responsibility on what you own. For example, using I messages versus you statements. When using I statements, we take accountability and responsibility, while using you statements puts other on the defense and it feels like a blame game. There's always a way to bridge sides, and that is to look for opportunities to compromise and come in the middle. This takes effort and willingness on the parts of all family systems. While talking to your family members, if you're emotionally frustrated or charged, vocalize that you need to take a time out and do so, as the goal is to attempt to diffuse your emotionality in order to come back calmer with a second attempt to attain results and resolution. It's easy while in a family fight to give up. Know that even in the midst of a family fight, your positivity and your compassion may leave you. Recognize when this happens and set some time to analyze your relationship and intentions for all that is involved. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. The aftermath of the pandemic have left many destructive for couples, marriages, and families. Reach out to a provider if left feeling that you may need some professional intervention to sort things out. Here are some things that family can do to increase the quality of their relationship. Working together as a team on household chores, sharing a meal together, and breaking bread where no electronic or devices are permitted at the table. Eat together at the table, as this may be an opportunity to check in emotionally with your family members. Create a weekly or bi-weekly family meeting where an agenda is developed by all family members to voice concerns, issues that can be tackled together. And my last suggestion is to go out for a family outing that is an active, engaged event. Today, we covered some signs and maladaptive behaviors that a family member might be exhibiting and what to look for in which to consider professional intervention. Secondly, we implemented the do's and don'ts when dealing with family stress. Thirdly, we highlighted how to adequately reduce family stress. And lastly, I shared with you some recommendations that may bridge family relationships together. These suggestions I have used in my own private practice when dealing with family sessions on how to enhance relationships in your family systems. My name is Dr. Michele Finneran with Buck & Associates. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this month on stress management and dealing with all different types of stress was useful and helpful. You don't want to miss next Friday's video on items that can be bought to reduce stress that I have in my relaxation toolbox. I look forward to you joining me again next week. Have a stress-free week ahead.